Check out this viral video of this Walmart employee pointing out racism, and I'll come back with my commentary.
Walmart, and we're stocking stuff, right? We're stocking these nice cases of Disney thing. Now, if you closely look, there's one black dog in the back. This is her. Fuck that shit. That bitch is moving to the front. This is the shit that I'm talking about. Racism is still in the world. We need to stop this. We're teaching our children racism, and I don't approve. Thank you.
So you guys saw the video, and I posted this video a couple of days ago on Facebook, and I got a lot of different interesting comments, a lot of different perspectives. But one of the main things that I saw a lot of people saying was that, you know, she's going to lose her job, or she's stupid for doing that, or, you know, she must have a new job for her to come out and make that type of video and put it on the internet. And, you know, one of the reasons why I posted the video in the first place is that I wanted to actually commend this sister for making this video and pointing it out, because first of all, she didn't have to. Second of all, a lot of people are scared to point out racism in this country, especially this, you know, this new generation. A lot of people think, you know, we live in some post-racial society, and racism is a thing of the past. And if you use racism or use it to explain why certain things haven't been beneficial for you or your people, you're blaming a white man, or, you know, you're lazy, or et cetera, et cetera. So that was one of my main reasons for pointing it out and posting the video online. But another thing that, you know, came to, you know, my mind when I was looking at everyone comment is that the main thing was, like I said, people mentioning her losing her job. And I found it funny how here it is, this woman is pointing out racism, pointing out that, you know, even within the small details of our life, you know, of opening a package and stocking certain materials up, there's racism even within, you know, opening a box and stocking things. And I used to work in retail, you know, a couple of years ago. I worked at Toys R Us. This was I think about 5-6 years ago. And, you know, I remember I did the overnight stocking, and I would open some of the boxes or whatever. And, you know, a lot of times I would find certain black dolls or toys that were more quote unquote urban pushed to the back. I would walk down the aisle. Sometimes I'll see the little black baby dolls in the back of the shelves. And, you know, me being who I am, you know, I took the black dolls and I put them up front. But I can relate to what she was pointing out, because I actually experienced that in my life too. But I found it funny how, you know, this woman's pointing out racism, calling it out, and you got black folks talking about, well, she's stupid, or, you know, she gonna lose her job for that. And, you know, it's funny how the first thing a lot of us go to is a job that the white man engages, or a paycheck. And everything in life, and when it comes to our integrity, it's not about a paycheck. It's not about you having a job, or, you know, you keeping your medical benefits, or you having that paycheck coming in. It's about pointing out things that are not right in the world, and pointing out injustice, and having some integrity about yourself. And I think over the last, you know, 30-40 years, we've lost a sense of integrity for ourselves, and standing up for things that are right, and actually pointing out racism. Because like I said, we have a lot of black folks out here who are scared to do that. You know, I get asked in my personal life a lot of times, you know, do you get nervous about, you know, pointing out racism or talking about certain things, you know, considering the line of work you do? And absolutely not. First of all, you know, I'm who I am here on YouTube in my personal life. You know, I'm very outspoken. I'm not extremely outspoken to the point where I have something to say about every single thing. Sometimes you just have to, you know when to fall back, and, you know, just keep your thoughts to yourself. But I'm very outspoken. I stand up for my community. I stand up for black respect. I care about my community. And the same things that I project out in these videos, I'm like that at work, and I'm like that in my personal life. And sometimes when I am at work, I have to know how to separate the two, because a lot of times you can't bring all of your personal thoughts, all of your personal opinions when you're dealing in the work field, because there's things that you just can't you can't transgress the both into two. Some things you just have to leave at home and leave to yourself. That's why they say in the work field, don't talk about politics, don't talk about religion, don't talk about salary, racial things, etc., etc. But I'm the same cat. I don't put on no airs for anybody. I'm the same cat, and people know that, and people respect that about me. Now, are there people who don't like me because I'm very outspoken or I stand up for my people? Absolutely. But at the same time, I can't jeopardize or suppress who I am or the integrity for my people for a paycheck, or be concerned about being fired or losing my job when I see wrongdoing right in front of my face. Because that will make me no different than people who practice racism and white supremacy. Now, one thing that I will say where, this sister made a mistake at is that in the beginning of the video, she mentioned the company she worked for. And what Walmart could possibly do to her that might harm her is go to courts and try to claim, defamation of the company or the company's image. And I think she could have made her point, but in a smarter way. And what I would have done is I would have took my badge off or turned it around, and basically displayed what I saw and made my point without mentioning the company I work for. Because it's one thing when you come out and you say things for the company that you work for, opposed to a company that you used to work for. So, I just think that she could have been a little bit smarter on how she did it. But I'm not going to attack this sister for the point she was trying to make. And I think black folks, a lot of times, we quick to talk about, a paycheck or, put money before our integrity and our respect. And it's really kept us back for several years. And instead of attacking this woman and saying she's going to lose her job and blah, 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 why don't we stand behind this woman and protect her for not losing her job, or making sure that she doesn't lose her job from Walmart? Because we easily come out here and we attack each other. You got people out here talking about black women, people out here talking about black men, downgrading each other. That's cool. That's okay. But we don't come out and we don't protect our people when they need to be protected. So my point is that, instead of attacking this woman for pointing out racism and making a point, why don't we stand behind this woman? Why don't we give her some credit for actually coming out and speaking about racism? Because we have a lot of people out here who are very afraid to even say the word black. Well, it's just something for us to think about. You guys give me your feedback. Whether you agree with me, whether you don't necessarily disagree with me, but you have a different perspective, or whether you have just something you want to add to what I said.